We're very excited to bring on Kristi Andersen. She is our new president at NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. Kristi, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's good to have you
and
here.
Welcome to NP Dodge.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm excited. First week. Finished my first week.
You lasted a lot longer than the last person.
Did I?
Although that was 14 years.
Well, are you coming back on Monday?
I plan to.
Okay.
Unless this does not go well.
We'll see how this interview goes today. So, Kristi, welcome to NAI NP Dodge. And you are, a lot of people know your name, and we'll get to the various reasons why they know your name around town. But before coming to Dodge, you've been a top producing commercial real estate broker. And kind of give us the quick 30,000-foot view of what's brought you to this point today.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So for the past decade, I have done commercial real estate at a couple of other local firms in town. And, it's the relationships that you build over the years that really sort of light my fire and make this such a fun business, and just being out in the community. And so that is a big part of the success that I've had. And just it's a business that I love to do. And as you watch Omaha grow, there's just really no better time to be in commercial real estate in my mind, and to be in Omaha. I wouldn't want to do it anywhere else. And so as that part of my career has evolved, this opportunity to join NAI NP Dodge came up. And I thought, what a great, long-standing firm with a huge history in our community. It just made a lot of sense for me to hop over to that team.
So what's cool about our industry, and I always say it beats working when you're a commercial real estate broker and you have fun with it. NP Dodge is a huge brand, the country's oldest real estate company, 5 generations of Dodge family members. And we have that brand, but each of us as independent contractors, and you're now an employee as well, is that we have our own brands. Mm-hmm. And there's the Trenton Magid brand, and some people know that, and with the radio show and me doing this for 32 years. But you go back in broadcasting, in public relations, being on boards, and I have never seen, when it was announced a few weeks ago, and Deb Grave Morrison, who was our fearless leader for 14 years, did a fabulous job, and she was very instrumental. Thank you, Deb. She didn't leave because she still has her license there, so she's still doing deals. But we owe her a lot of gratitude to really champion you and convince Nate Dodge and the board and everybody else that you're worth it. And so I thank NP Dodge for that. And you were our first choice, and we didn't think we were going to get you, but somehow you had a weak moment and you signed on. And just kidding. And we're thankful for that. But go back and kind of give us your entry into Omaha.
You bet. So I'm a South Dakota kid. Not a lot of people know that necessarily. They think I'm from Omaha. I've been here a long time. So as you mentioned, I got my start. I was a student at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in the J School, journalism school. Broadcast journalism was my major. And that's all I was ever going to do, right? And I did it for 15 years. And so I kind of traveled the country. I worked in a lot of Midwest markets, Dayton, Ohio, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And then we had, my husband is from this area. He's from Blair. And so when we were in Michigan and I was working my way up in the news business and I was in a top 30 market, again, that's all I was going to do. But our son came, and that changes things. When you have kids, it kind of changes things. And so we wanted to raise our kids in Omaha. So we came back to Omaha. I was at Channel 7 for a few years, anchored some nights a week, and 7 Can Help was my franchise. So did a lot of consumer investigative ripoffs. I actually interviewed Trenton a few times. Not because you ripped anybody off, Trenton, but...
yeah. But, it wasn't Mike McKnight. It was Kristi Andersen, ladies and gentlemen. Wrong station.
But similar, right? And so when I came back, I thought, I kind of worked my way up in that world and came back to Omaha and thought, well, what else would I want to do? And so naturally, as news people, we sometimes transition out into communications roles. And so I worked for Mike Johans in the United States Senate as his press secretary until he decided not to run again. And then I hopped over, and Roger Dixon called me, and I was his director of communications at Mecca. And so I've been around the development world in Omaha for a while. But then fast forward, your kids get older and you want to spend more time. And the beautiful thing about commercial real estate as independent contractors is that we get to make our own schedules, and we can do a lot of things. We can go to our kids' games, and we can also be involved in the community. And so I was able to really, through this world, kind of make it what I wanted to make it. And so you mentioned I have a public relations consulting business. I still do that. And then now with this new role, but that's one of the attractive parts about NAI NP Dodge. It's a very entrepreneurial shop, and everybody kind of has a little bit of a side hustle. We're deeply embedded in the community. The Dodge family is deeply embedded in the community and believes a lot in terms of integrity and community service. I love to sit on boards. That's part of my DNA too. So it just became a good fit.
We have with us Kristi Andersen. She is the brand new president of NAI NP Dodge Commercial Real Estate. Had been in the commercial real estate industry for about a decade, working at a couple other firms. And a lot of you may know her name from her years at KETV, being a reporter and an anchor, also with Mecca and working in the political world. And Kristi, so we look at this thing we call the commercial real estate market of Omaha, Nebraska. And there's a lot of ways you can look at it. From a construction perspective, wow, a lot of things under construction. If you look at the statistics, industrial vacancy is really low, retail vacancy is really low. How do you sum up the market these days?
I would say that. I mean, I think Omaha, again, we mentioned it earlier, there's really no better place to be in the country. We never hit the high highs and we never hit the low lows. We're a conservative market. But we are solid. I mean, even in the office market. So obviously that's the softest part of our business right now across the country. But, the national average in office vacancy is around 20%, and we are under 10%, sitting at closer to 7 or 8% here in Omaha. So while it's been a little slower, it's still strong and it's still healthy. And I feel like we've seen some movement in that again, as people still try to figure out the work from home stuff and the hybrid, and there's some flight to quality going on in our market. So you're seeing some new office buildings being built in West Omaha, and so people are sort of moving that direction. But we're starting to see the leasing activity finally pick up after COVID, so that's a good sign. Retail. Now that we've hit that 1 million person mark in our metro, things are jamming. Avenue 1's a great example. Some of the new things that we've been dying to get to Omaha for a lot of years are now looking at us. They're coming here. You mentioned some big ones. There's bigger ones that are looking at Omaha now. So, I mean, all in all, it's a good time, I feel like, for our city to be in commercial real estate.
You mentioned that 1 million person mark. Interestingly, and Jeff really watches the analytics for this show, we had, in the last 12 months, over 1 million unique visitors to growomaha.com. So you should all get on there as well, because every day we post different stuff, a lot of different stuff. And so the fact that there's only a little over 1 million people in our market, that means that there's a lot of eyes looking on Omaha, or at least at Grow Omaha, which I assume means following what's happening in Omaha, and we love that.
Well, Kristi, speaking of retail, one of your new listings is the Capitol District downtown. That, of course, is anchored by a very nice Marriott hotel, nice office building there, a large apartment building. Talk to us a little bit about the Capitol District, who's there, what could be coming, and what's good about it.
You bet. Yeah, we're really excited to be able to take on this new listing. The Capitol District got going a handful of years ago. I was on the office leasing team there previously, and we finally got that 100% occupied. So you've got Deloitte and Private Wealth Management and some really great Class A tenants on the office side. So they office on the second level above Let It Fly, Texas de Brazil. So that's full. And then the Marriott is jamming. They're doing great things. But you've also got, Let It Fly is very busy. If you've been there, if you haven't been there, you should go. They're one of my clients. I put them at the Capitol District. And, they're really busy during Creighton basketball season, obviously. But they're busy during all events. And so you've got some really great tenants like Let It Fly, Texas de Brazil, Brunch Box, Fade Kings, but we have a few vacancies that we want to fill. And as things happen downtown, and with the Builders District coming online, and the event center, and the expansion on the convention center, and more traffic, and Steel House is really kind of filled in the middle too there. There's just a lot of energy, and the Capital District is right in the middle of it. So I think, we'll work closely, and with my background in marketing, I've already done some work with the marketing team in the past to maybe try to activate that area a little bit more. The courtyard that's in the middle there, bringing more traffic in. But it's an exciting assignment for us, and a really important assignment for us. I
was so impressed last night, because we're so cultured. We went to the Holland Center for the symphony and the opera combined, and we went to. I knew it existed, but I'd never been in the Asian restaurant right on the corner of the Capital District. And we had poke bowls. They have ramen. They have all that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff. It was delicious, and it was like, for two people, everything we got was like $45, and we were well fed with sushi and all kinds of stuff. It's a great addition, and being so close. We parked. We were concerned about parking, but there's plenty of parking garages, and it was like $5, which is amazing on a Friday night. And we look around, and like, all these restaurants are right there.
Yeah. It is. I mean, they've done a really good job of filling some of that in. I was down at the Steel House on Thursday for a concert, and, right after we walked across and had a slice of Frank's Pizza. They're doing really well. So the tenants that are down there are doing well, and we've just got we've got a couple, like I said, just a couple vacancies that we need to fill in, but the energy downtown is great. I mean, yes, there's some construction going on downtown that is challenging, but for the most part, you can get around down there pretty easily.
You're doing some great things out at Heartwood Preserve as well.
We are. Heartwood Preserve is another one of those development projects that is really exciting. As you know, it's 500 acres, and it's one of the largest infill projects in the country, and just what's happening. So I personally am working on the row, on the office side, with a colleague of mine, and that's Jason Lanaha's project. And so Olson should be moving in and occupying their space here real soon. And then we've got quite a bit of activity on the remaining space on the fourth floor of that building. The glass is in on the retail storefronts on the street level. So if you haven't been by that building, it's beautiful. And it's just such a great location as people head west. And as we know, the population is kind of headed west, and there's so much happening. But just in general, that project is really cool to see.
Yeah, it's fun to watch everything that's happened there. And basically, Heartwood Preserve is going to be kind of like another downtown in the way that Exarban Village has turned into another downtown.
Kind of
Heartwood
West Omaha's
Preserve.
Downtown, I would say.
It'll be like a city center, so to speak.
It will.
Well, anyway, we're going to keep Kristi with us for the rest of the show. We're going to take our final break of the hour. And when we come back, we are going to do our lightning round. And I'm looking at the list, and there's a lot of things on it. So stay with us. You don't want to miss any of these updates and announcements, and we will analyze them for you as we bring them up. You are listening to Grow Omaha. We have Jeff Beals, Trenton Magid, and Kristi Andersen, new president of NAI NP Dodge. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics, and we'll be back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.